Well, hello everyone. Welcome on Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Kevin Olenick. You can also, of course, like, agree, or disagree the podcast on Facebook as well. Soundcloud.com, Kevole. Spreaker.com, Kevole. You can also subscribe on YouTube at Kevin Olenick. You can also follow me on Twitter, Kevole. Instagram at Kevole. I will be doing some Instagram stuff as well going forward. But I'm a little rusty at doing this Facebook Live, so I thought I would just do this way as I'm getting back into the rhythm of doing these again. And surprisingly, I have a smile on my face doing this. So it's nice to be back doing these Facebook Lives. I haven't done these in a while, and it's been a couple of months since I have done an actual podcast. So good to be back. Again, want to say thank you very much to everyone who has been supportive of this during the last little bit. Many of you may not be aware, but I am now living in Kamloops, British Columbia, looking out at the Trans-Canada Highway as we speak, and transitioned out here to Kamloops for an opportunity that didn't go the way it should have, and that's okay. Thankful for the opportunity. But it has been a couple months, and as Pop says to Luke Cage, always forward, always. So we'll be doing some different things as we're getting through this, so bear with me and bear with us as we go through this, and we're back to doing these Facebook Lives, which is a good opportunity for people to connect. I did discover a couple of things, though, as I was setting this up, but that we can't do an actual poll. So I'm trying to figure that part out. So I may do a poll on a separate page. If you don't want to comment, you can join on the poll there as well. But today I want to talk about what we wear and identity. I want to start with that. It's probably what you can see on me is sort of my identity. A hat I'm kind of known for. I'm not wearing a bow tie because didn't feel like wearing a bow tie today. But they do say that 90% of communication is nonverbal. How we stand, how we sit, how we look, what we wear. Are we paying attention to people? Do we have eye contact as we're talking to people? Are we in attention? Things like that. As an example, in terms of things that we're wearing, we're in the World Cup soccer season. So many of us are wearing the team that we're cheering for, whoever that is, whether that be England or Brazil or Belgium or anyone else. Any of those things, it says something about you. If you're cheer for a particular sports team, or if you're a fan of a music group, or if you're a fan of a movie or whatever, it says something about you. Or even who you support politically, kind of those ideas as well. Who do you support, like one side or the other? Like maybe if you wear, for an example, a Make America Great Again hat. A man did that in a restaurant in Vancouver. And when some people see it, what comes to mind? It's not unfair to presume that this person is that wearing a Make America Great Again hat is a Trump supporter. And it may mean some other things to you. It may stand to you as a symbol of racism, bigotry, Islamophobia, misogyny, white supremacy, homophobia, all around hatred. It certainly felt that way to a man named Darin Hodge. Hodge is, or I should say actually, was the manager of the Teahouse in Stanley Park in Vancouver. That was until he asked a patron to remove his Make America Great Again hat. And because of that, he was fired. Hodge released a statement Friday, and this is in the article here in the Vancouver Sun that I have posted as this. Through Facebook Messenger, they saying that he stood by his decision. The Make America Great hat has come to symbolize racism, bigotry, Islamophobia, misogyny, white supremacy, homophobia. As a person with a strong moral background, I had to take the stand against this guest choice headwear while in my former place of work. Absolutely no regrets. Now, this isn't the first time that we have come across this. I know that there was an incident in Mount Royal University in Calgary about students wearing a Make America Great Again hat and some anger over that. I'm sure that's Mount Royal. I'm sure that there's other universities and other places where if you would wear that hat, it causes some friction. The owners, Sequoia, who also owns the Seasons of the Park, Carderos, and the Sandbar, said Hodge was a good person with a big heart and has a right to his personal beliefs, but the company said he is expected to follow and promote the company's philosophy of tolerance and respect as a Teahouse representative. And like all of our restaurants, the Teahouse has no political, ethnic, or other bias and is committed to welcoming all visitors in Vancouver and treating all of our customers with respect. That was the statement that the company made on the other end. Now, just a little bit of background about me. You probably know this and are tired of me saying this, but I worked 8 years at SAIT, 2 years in the online pharmacy call center, answering phones. I've worked on a number of customer service jobs, either inbound or outbound customer service dealing with for a number of different companies over my lifetime. And I've seen a number of different people from a number of different perspectives. I have to tell you that I've literally watched Muslim men belittle my female colleagues because they think that they have lacked the education to actually help them with their career, even though some of these women actually are going for masters. I've actually seen adults yell at teenagers about the price of popcorn. Poor customers, treating the customer service person with belittlement. And at no time at all that I see service really being refused. 99.8% of the time, I would say that it was still people kept their head. I've also seen people wear deeply offensive stuff, whether that be I Make America Great Again hat, but some religious stuff that was offensive, stuff about women that was offensive, stuff about other religions that was offensive. And at no time at all was I under the allowance that we could refuse service because of something that they could wear. Now, there are a lot of places that say now you cannot, if you treat the customer service, the rep, with disrespect, they can refuse. So if there's yelling or there's belittlement, then yeah, absolutely, their service can be refused. And there's a lot of places that put that sign up, and I think that that's a good thing. But in terms of having someone be refused service or asked to remove something because of it, we couldn't necessarily do that. We couldn't refuse service. It doesn't mean that we have to like what the person was wearing or agree with what the person was wearing, but we still were under the obligation of having to serve them to the best of our ability. I remember when I worked at the movie theater, there was this guy that came up, dressed up. He had sunglasses, kind of had the Don Johnson Miami Vice look, but more in a millennial sort of way. A woman on his left and a woman on his right. He thought he was all that in a bag of chips and a Slurpee. He had like cash, like not like just a $20 bill. Like he was showing off his dough. He treated me as a rep in the movie theater like I was a peon. I was his slave. He didn't say thank you. He tossed money at me. He didn't take off his sunglasses. It really bothered me, actually, because I'm like, why do you not take off your sunglasses? Anyway, even in that case, I still had to treat him with the utmost of professional respect. So coming from that school of thought, I'm kind of on the side of the manager here. I don't think it is appropriate myself to tell someone, even though I don't necessarily like the hat, that they have to take it off. I'm no Trump supporter at all. If you've seen my tweets and you've seen who I am, I don't support Trump in any way, shape, or form. I think that the man is very dangerous. I think the man is a broad of evil. And I'm very concerned about the message that he is encouraging, 100%. But that's not what necessarily the job that I have, if I'm working 9 to 5 or whatever that shift is to represent the company as best that I can. And that's what I'm getting paid to do. And it's tough, unfortunately, that you still have to allow someone to wear it. It is a freedom of expression, even if we don't like it. So I'm a little old school on that. We still have to serve. And in a sense of me, the other thing that I was thinking about is this concept of being equal rights, things like that. If we're talking about equality, does that person, even though we don't like what they wear, or we are assuming or making an assumption, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people out there that just wear this hat as a social experiment to see how people are going to treat them. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I'm not saying that this was the case. This guy in this article appears was a legitimate Trump supporter. But I wonder if there are people out there trying that as a social experiment. I'll wear this "Make America Great Again" hat, and I'll see how I get treated. Just for the heck of it. It'd be weird, but some people do it. But we still have to serve them, is my point on that. And still have to treat them with the professional dignity. Now, I know that there's going to be some people that say, that hat could be very offensive to another customer. And if it was a case of another customer, I think that is an interesting question. But if I can't go up, based on the story that I'm seeing here, I can't go up to someone and tell them to remove their hat because I don't like it. That's basically, and I'm not trying to be cold, but this is how that is coming out. But I would love to hear what you think about this. What would you do if you're Darin Hodges in this case? If you were a person that was serving in customer service, whatever it is, and saw someone wear a hat or something that was offensive, would you ask them to take it off? Would you take the same stand that Darin Hodges did? Or if you were the manager, what would you do? Would you support what Darin did? Would you back him up? Or would you have to take a stand and say, no, the customer's right in this case? Who do you agree or disagree with? Even what would you do if you were a customer and you saw this? And what are you thinking about the restaurant now? Are you upset? As some have pointed out in Yelp, they're very upset that the customer or that the Teahouse in Stanley Park has taken this stand. And some are like, well, you know what? I applaud Teahouse, actually, and they're fair. So I've heard both sides on that. So who do you agree or disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. Also, we'll put up a poll. I can't put up the poll on Facebook Live. It'll also be on Twitter as well at KEVOLE. So thank you for taking the time to check this one out. And it has been a while, so apologies if it feels a little bit rusty, but as I do this more, it will be better. And it's nice to get back into doing this. And thank you very much for listening. And we will chat with you all very soon. Bye for now.